Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at our market leading ETFs via our proprietary scans as we do every week. This is for the week of June 30th, 2014. Wound up with fairly light volume for the most part. Today was a Russell rebalance, but it doesn't really affect the broad market ETFs so much. So what we're seeing here is we're down in volume pretty much across the board. There is some decent volume in the IWM, but for the most part, we're down on volume. The IWM did have a pretty strong day, almost 1% above the day's open. We do have a downside RPS in the triple Qs, but we don't have that volume bump that we do like to see go along with that. Moving on to the domestic sectors, a couple volume bumps to be aware of. We've got one in the XLB. That one's got an upside RPS, so we've got an upside RPS with a volume bump, which is always something that we're looking for. And that's also supported by the contra candle as well, setting up today. XLK also has a volume bump, but unfortunately no signal. We've got an upside CPS in the OIH. That was actually pretty strong today, so keep an eye on that for Monday in case I want to squeeze that on the last day of the quarter. Downside RPS setting up in the KRE. KRE represents the regional banks, but this one doesn't have any particularly good volume with it. Moving on to the commodities. Downside contra candle in the GLD. GLD's definitely been in play the last couple of weeks, so keep an eye on that. Upside contra candle in the UNG, and that one actually has some decent volume, so that could be worth watching. Bonds were pretty tight today. Didn't see too much. A little bit of weakness in the TLT today, but not anything too dramatic, and volume was pretty much more or less its typical run rate. Moving on to the foreign names, a lot of volume in the EWU today, 2 times the typical volume. We've got a contra candle formed in the EWJ. We've got an upside CPS in the EEM. Moving on to the specials, no real theme here like we really want to see for a big bias day. TNA has a little bit of an open-close deviation, but 2.5% actually isn't all that much with something that's triple leveraged. So not much to be learned here from the specials. And finally, we'll leave you off with a look at the leading ETFs with the bar counts. Spiders are 13 bars up now on the Comer, 10 bars up in the aggressive seeker. The Qs 13 bars up in the aggressive seeker and 11 bars up in the Comer. That could definitely fire this coming week. Diamonds 10 bars up, so that's got a really good chance of firing this week as well, as does the MDY. Take a look at the OIH. The OIH is trying to push higher, but that has a sell in all three of the studies. Also, the XLE is getting pretty deep here. We're 13 bars up in the aggressive seeker, 12 bars up in the standard, and 12 bars up in the Comer, so that's very likely to fire this week. The XLV, 13 bars up in the aggressive seeker and also the Comer, and 10 bars up in the standard seeker. So you can see there's a lot of things here that could potentially fire this coming week, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a little weakness before we get a little weakness Tuesday, Wednesday maybe, before kind of a walk up on Wednesday. So we'll have to see how they play it out. It's going to be a late volume, so we'll see how it goes. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.